We're about to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly in 2020. What is happening, everybody? Welcome back to Vlogmas, day number 4. First thing off the bat, because we uploaded the video this morning, I'm going to give people a little bit more time to enter in the giveaway. If you didn't see, go back, watch Vlogmas number 3. We are giving away a Dark Horse Buzz. There weren't that many of those things made, so they are collectible for sure. And it's being given away in the Brodie Smith collector page in Facebook. The link will be in the description down below. Go join that group. That's all you have to do. We will be picking a random member of that group to receive that disc. So if you haven't done that already, you have a couple more hours until we will announce the winner in tomorrow, Vlogmas number 5's video. Just want to give a little more time because I know some people have to work and they can't get around to watching videos all the time. In today's video, the giveaway is going to be back to kind of the first video. All you have to do is like this video and drop a comment down below. I guess the question is going to be, what is your favorite Christmas cookie? I think that's a good one. I don't even know what mine is. I might tell you at the end, but like, what is your favorite Christmas cookie? What are you feeling when it comes to it? Actually, I do know what mine is. Mine is going to be those really dry. For whatever reason, they're super dry, but I love them. They're super dry, but then they have that like cake icing on top that the grocery stores have. I feel like I always get those around Christmas time and they're delicious. I think each cookie has like 300 calories in it. Maybe that's why they're so good. But I think that's all the housekeeping stuff. This morning's giveaway, got that covered. This video's giveaway. The disc. It will be one of the Get Freaky stock misprints that I should have to show you guys in person, hopefully in the next couple days. I am currently in Granbury, Texas. It's about 2 hours or so outside of Dallas, and I am playing in potentially the final tournament of my 2020 disc golf season. Also, my very first disc golf season. And I thought it'd be fun to kind of go back and go through each tournament and kind of just remember where my game was at, what I was learning at the time, maybe what discs I had in my bag, and just how my health was at the time, and kind of go back and just look at each tournament, see how I finished, and maybe talk a little bit about what I'm looking forward to next season. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. The first tournament I did, or I guess my first rating, was the WCDG's Huntington Beach 2020 Winter 6-week series. So this was Paul Macbeth's home course, and you've probably heard the story already. I was supposed to play with a handful of people, but they looked at the ratings, they didn't like them, so they just all watched me play. And I shot not good. I did not play good. And I have that round actually on YouTube. If you never watched it, you can go back and watch it. I think it's called Brodie Smith's first PDGA rated round or something like that. But I just remember it was a very birdie or die course. And I didn't get a lot of birdies. I just didn't get a lot of birdies at all. Whether it be my putting or getting it off the tee. I just felt like I didn't really play that great. But honestly, probably played my skill level, probably played where I was. I didn't have a forehand, and my putt wasn't really anything outside of like 25 feet. So got my rating though, was able to enter in the Disc Golf Pro Tour events with my rating above 900. And so lucky for me, the first real Disc Golf Pro Tour event this season was in Waco, which is just a couple hours south of Dallas. So it felt kind of like a home court advantage a little bit, in the sense that I didn't have to fly somewhere or go somewhere. So I went to that, and as we all know, that was like the last tournament before the whole COVID shutdown started happening. So it got shortened to 2 rounds, but that tournament was like the eye opener to me of how drastically how drastically skill level, like the gap, how big of a gap, that's what I'm trying to say, how big of a gap there was between my skill level and the pros that I was playing with. So the first round I played with Kale, I played with Paul, and I played with Drew Gibson. And it was eye-opening, to say the least, about how much I needed to improve to get anywhere near their level. So that was a good eye-opener for me. And then I basically had between March, April, May, and then almost all of June, I had all that time to basically improve my game. Now, the issue there, unfortunately, is during that time, that is when I got Lyme disease. And I think there's some people that don't know that actually happened. It happened right around the time that I went up to either hang out with Foundation in Virginia, or when I went to Michigan and Discraft. But I ended up getting Lyme disease. And for those that don't know anything about Lyme disease, it pretty much destroys your entire body, in the sense of like you have absolutely no energy. Your endurance is gone. So if you do actually feel up to doing something, as soon as you start doing something, you get zapped real fast. And the medicine, the doxy, which is, I think it's like dioxazine or something. I probably said that wrong, but the doxy medicine that they give you, it makes you basically a lobster being put into water when you go out in the sun. If you're on doxy and you're exposed to sunlight for more than like a minute, it is absolutely brutal. And unfortunately, I got to witness that firsthand at the Dynamic Disc Open. So even though the Lyme disease knocked me out for a solid about month, and I'll talk a little bit probably more about my fitness later, but that time after Waco, I really was like, I need to start getting back into shape. And since we don't have any tournaments and stuff, who cares if I'm sore from working out? Let's not get in, because there's no tournaments. And I was really starting to get back into shape. I think I lost about 20 pounds in that time frame. And then Lyme hit me, and I wasn't able to work out anymore. And all that stuff that I basically had kind of going in, the momentum I had going in was gone. And then I did my best to try to, pick up where I left off, but I definitely felt like that kind of knocked me down a little bit and took away some of the momentum. But my game was definitely better when I got to the Dynamic Disc Open in the end of June. My first round actually was my very first round over 1,000 rated. And I played really well and was kind of in contention at that point to cash, which would have been amazing. Now, right around hole 16 or 15, I believe, in the first round, I started feeling some of the side effects of, just basically having a month of Lyme and the doxy. Luckily, I think the first day wasn't as sunny. The second day, there wasn't like a cloud in the sky, and it was absolutely brutal. Probably hole 6, I knew I was in trouble. And then by hole 12 or 13, it was to the point of where I was questioning whether or not I should just leave and like get off the course and get into some shade. If Kelsey was there, I think I don't think I would have finished that round. I think she would have forced me to leave. But being by myself, not really having any fans or spectators out there, I was able to somehow push through it and finish the round. But it just felt like my body was literally falling apart. And then the doxy, the sun with the doxy, my hands started shaking, and I was just getting crazy sunburn on my arms, which I normally never get sunburnt there. It was a bad situation. So I think it was too soon. I think I was just really excited to get back out there, and it was just a little bit too soon. And so I told Kelsey, I was like, all right, I'll give it a couple weeks before I do anything else. So it wasn't until the middle of July, about July 18th, that I went up and played so I ended up by the way, I ended up DNFing that tournament. And so, which was unfortunate because I feel like that course actually sets up really well for my game. So I'm excited to go back out to Emporia and play country club to see exactly what I can do in a full tournament. But we bounced July to the Blue Chip Technologies, the Battle of Bedford. This was the tournament that Foundation did. That was my first kind of introduction to an insanely difficult wooded course. And it required a lot of shots that I had never practiced and never really thrown. And I absolutely got my lunch taken, I guess would be the terminology there. And just, I didn't play that bad the first day. And then the second day, I almost didn't cash. Like, I think I was like fourth or fifth. No, I wasn't fourth because I was on the lead card. I think I was like fifth or sixth or something like that. And then I ended up 14th, almost taking last cash. But memorial moment, milestone moment. That was my first cash, $65. And then after that, we went to D-Glow. Again, I got introduced to having to throw shots with elevation, having to throw from way up high, down low, and from way down low and up high. This also, D-Glow was also the tournament that I was introduced to the Zeus. Prior to D-Glow, I pretty much was only throwing Nuke SS off the tee, the Glow Nuke SS, which is funny now because that's my roller disc. But that was my like distance driver that I was throwing. If you go to Waco, that's like the disc that I throw on, I think, hole 16 or something. I pull the bow and arrow out and I shoot Drew or something like that because I threw it like 400 feet. That was my big boy distance driver. And D-Glow was the first time I kind of got introduced to the Zeus and was throwing that. Apologies, someone just called me, and so it stopped recording. Okay, D-Glow was a disaster, obviously. And I learned a lot though, and it's a course that I'm really excited to play again because it's a phenomenal course. If you ever get a chance to go up to Michigan, 100% you got to play this course. So didn't finish well there, got 70th. Then we moved on to a couple local events in between D-Glow and the next big Disc Golf Pro Tour events. I played a Flex Start, which I'm not even going to talk about Flex Starts. So let's go to the C tournament the C tier that I played, which was the Chain Bomber Tour Stop #1. Now this bad boy, it was a two round tournament, both in the same day. Morning round, played absolute trash, was like in 7th or something like that. Maybe even 9th, 7th. I probably was actually in 4th, but I didn't play well. And then the second round, didn't play well on the front 9, and then just caught fire on the back 9 and was tracking down the lead. And the final hole, if I birdied it and he bogeyed it, we would have tied and gone to a playoff. But I ended up birdieing it and he ended up parring it and he won. So that was my first real taste. I had a putt on 17 inside probably about 30 feet, had a putt on 17 that would have, if I would have made that, it would have gone into a playoff. And I kind of knew that I probably needed to make that, and I didn't. And that was my first real taste of getting close to winning and not getting it. But it felt good. Got second place, got a mad $188. Then we go back to the big boy tour, Disc Golf Pro Tour, Idlewild, just get absolutely annihilated. This tournament, I was learning how to throw forehand and definitely did not have it dialed in. I still don't really even have my forehand dialed in right now. It's not as consistent as I want it, but you better believe I was trying to throw that forehand all over the course. And I was throwing the Hades on crazy, I don't even know what I was doing. I was doing a lot of weird shots on that course that I would never do again, which is always fun. Going back and watching coverage, I have the benefit of having some of my rounds filmed. So it's fun to kind of go back and watch and be like, oh my gosh, why am I throwing that disc on this hole? And it's just because I didn't have all the tools you need. And that's the big difference between a pro tour course and like a local course. A pro tour course, very rarely can you get by with just like one skill set. And if it is just one skill set, you better be dang good at that skill set. I got exposed again at Idlewild, and then I got double exposed the next week at Ledgestone. And this was like a double whammy for me, because Idlewild, one course, 3 rounds. I felt like I was prepared going into Idlewild. Ledgestone, 2 different courses, 4 rounds, and I think we only had 2 days to prepare, because one of the days it got rained out. There was like a crazy storm that went through. So I basically had 1 day per course to learn, and on these big courses, I just don't think that was enough time for me. I didn't get enough shots on certain holes, and that's not giving myself an excuse on why I placed 108th. I'll tell you that right now. But that was the first time where I realized, like, I need to figure out how to play disc golf before I go and I try to play these courses, because all the pros I did practice rounds with, they're not trying to figure out their discs. They're not trying to figure out their form. They're not trying to figure out anything other than what is the shot that is required for me to get the best score on this hole. I was trying to figure out too much stuff before even getting to that point. And that's where I really was like, you know what? I don't think I'm actually getting better by playing these tournaments anymore. I think I'm just getting by and trying to learn the course and use what I currently have to try to score the best possible round, versus improving and working on my weaknesses. And I was like, that's it. I'm done. And this was the moment in time where people thought I quit disc golf and wasn't ever going to play again. I think a lot of people misunderstood what was going on here. Also, there was only 2 more events I would have gone to. It would have been GMC and MVP. Those were the only 2 other events that I was planning on going that I decided not to go. And I decided I need to go home. And it's not so much I need to play easier courses or I needed to play against easier competition. It was, I need to go home and practice. Like, when you're on the road, when those 2 weeks I was on the road between Idlewild and Ledgestone, I don't think I really actually practiced. To me, playing a course, you're not essentially working on your weaknesses. You're not essentially getting more consistent on certain things that you need to work on. You're just trying to learn the course. So I was like, I need to go back to the drawing board. I need to treat disc golf like I treated golf, and I need to start practicing every day and working on the things that I really need to work on. And so what was the break? It wasn't even that long. It was like, 3 weeks? Yeah, 22 days. It was 22 days. So just over 3 weeks between Idlewild and my next tournament. And in those 3 weeks time, I feel like I got astronomically better than the March, or I guess we could go to the dynamic disc. Then dynamic disc, which was like the end of June, all the way to Ledgestone, which is middle of August. So I just thought my improvement was through the roof. I went to Magnolia Open. I felt confident. I had a game plan. I stuck to it and ended up taking down that B tier, getting my first win, cashing a sweet 500 buckaroonies. Then the next 2 weeks later, I go to Louisville Open. I don't play well, but managed to get 4th. And I started learning some things about, okay, what's happening when I'm not playing well? How do I still score? Same thing the next week. I didn't really play that well, especially the final day at the McKinney Classic. Got 7th. Was able to kind of put out the fires and still stay kind of in it. And that took me to the Waxahachie Open down in Waxahachie at the end of September. And I didn't play necessarily that well in the first round, but I didn't give up on myself. And in the second round, I had the hot round, went into the playoff I tracked down the leader, who was, I think, 4 or 5 shots probably ahead of me going into the final round. Tracked him down, got into a playoff, and this is where I learned something as well. This was my first playoff experience. First hole, it's a birdie hole. Got to birdie it. We both did. Second hole, super bonus birdie. Very, very long. We both had circle 2 putts, and neither one of us made it. Now we're at the third hole. The third hole ate my lunch. The third hole that day was the only hole that I really, really struggled on. And so I almost psyched myself out, because I was like, how sweet would it be for me to win the tournament on the hole that gave me the most problems. So it's one of those holes where if you miss right, you don't have a chance at making par. You're probably going to get a bogey. And in my head, I didn't even think about that. I was only thinking about one thing, and that was birdieing this hole. That was putting the disc underneath the basket. And that's something I will never do, especially in a match play situation. That is something I'll never do again, or I tell myself, I'll never give someone a win. And I'm not taking it away from the guy that ended up winning, but I ended up bogeying, and he was able to just lay up and make a par and win. I let myself down there, and that was really frustrating. And I feel like there was just a little bit of a lack of knowledge of what to do in that situation. And hopefully I can get another chance at being in a playoff and take my experience from that one and get it back. So, all right. And then we're just going to run through these last couple. We basically, from there, we went to an A tier, which was the Texas State Disc Golf Championship. An amazing tournament down in Tyler, Texas. They're actually having the Piney Woods Open going on right now. If you get a chance, go to Tyler. They have 3 incredible courses there. Dogwood, one of my favorite courses, incredibly hard wooded course. And I played okay there. Got 14th. My goal was to get top 5 because I really wanted to get one of those USDGC spots, but I kind of played myself out of it the final day. And I got to roll with the punches. That's the big thing that I taught myself. Just got to roll with the punches. Las Vegas Halloween Classic out in Vegas. I took down 4th, had some good rounds out there, and it was awesome to play with Rico. Or I didn't get to play with them because they were on the lead card, but it was fun to watch Rico and Proctor out there just shred that course. Then we went to Veterans Park. That course, man, if you are not having a good day, it will brutalize you. It took all my strokes. It took everything from me. I got 24th, was not a good performance. Then I followed it up with a great performance at Trophy Club, getting 2nd there. So that was great. That was also another one where I was on the chase card and was tracking down the leader. Ended up just a couple shots off of it, but took down 2nd. And then the final tournament that I just played was in Belton. And that was one where two great first rounds. Final round, absolute dud. Could have got a top 5, could have got a top 4, and ended up taking 11th. So, a lot of things to learn from this season, a lot of things to take away from it. One of the things I have to just keep reminding myself is stay patient. And one thing that I feel like I'm getting definitely better at is having fun even when I throw a bad shot. Disc golf is one of those sports where you can get trapped with this idea that every single time you throw the disc, it should be perfect. And if it's not, it's like, why the heck did I not throw the perfect shot there? And I started doing that a lot in some of these tournaments, and that negative talk is not good. It's not like Ultimate. When I would play bad in Ultimate and stuff, I would like hype myself up and be like, dude, come on, what the heck are you doing? Get yourself in the game. And I'd hype myself up, and then I'd be able to go out and make an explosive play. there is no explosive plays in disc golf. There is no huge athletic play-making ability in disc golf. It is who can keep their composure, who can stay focused, and who can execute. And I need to do that. And Trophy Club, final round of Trophy Club, I did some weird breathing exercises to try to keep my heart rate down and to try to just, before every shot, just visualize it and really be committed to what I was doing. And I thought it showed dividends. So I'm hopefully going to be taking a lot of that into next season. I will be doing a full tour next season, hopefully going to every Disc Golf Pro Tour event, hopefully going to all the national tour events, and if I qualify, going to the majors as well. And you know what? I'm just excited, man, to get back out there. And like I've said before, I hope that you guys can all come and witness some of the best disc golfers in the world. I was lucky enough to play with a lot of them this year. And let me tell you, it is fun and exciting. It's fun and exciting to watch it live on the Disc Golf Pro Tour network, but it's completely a different vibe watching it in person. So I highly recommend, if there is a Disc Golf Pro Tour event in your area and they are allowing spectators, again, we have to kind of see what's going to happen here. You got to go. You got to go. It's too cool not to. But with that being said, guys, that's going to end it here. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. 2020 was crazy. Let me know what you guys, what your favorite moments of 2020 for your disc golf career was. I think sometimes we get a little too sucked in to how bad 2020 was and all the negative stuff that happened. I think sometimes it's good to remember that some good things came from 2020 and to keep the positivity going. So let me know in the comments down below some of the cool things that happened in 2020 for you. And that's it. We'll see you in the next one. Vlogmas video number 4. I got a big tournament tomorrow. Wish me luck. I'll let you go. I'll let you know how it goes tomorrow. That'll be tomorrow's video. A recap of tomorrow's round tomorrow. I like it. All right. Keep slinging them discs.